The most powerful, amazing, and confident version of you does not exist in the future. She lives right here and right now. She's inside of you, and this is where we flip the switch and unveil her. This is the Switched Up Ladies podcast.
Hello, Amazon. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Switched Up Ladies podcast. Here we have unfiltered conversations on everything about personal development for young African ladies and everything it takes to become the amazing woman you were meant to be. If this is your first time, you're welcome. This is the official YouTube channel of the Switched Up Lady, a social enterprise that equips young African women and girls with the right tools, information, and a supportive community to develop themselves and live authentic and fulfilling lives. Visit our website at theswitcheduplady.org.ng to explore exclusive and free resources that will help you speed up your personal growth and achieve your goals. Follow our social media pages at The Switched Up Lady to stay updated on exciting opportunities for personal growth, career, and business development. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to this channel, and also share this video to your best girls because friends that learn together grow together. On today's episode, we'll be looking at something very essential for this time of the year. We're finally in the second half of 2025, the perfect time for reflection, reviewing your goals, finding out what has worked and what you need to focus on for the remaining part of the year. As a routine, so many companies and organizations are taking time to look at their goals for the year to find out how to get effective results for the rest of the year. But that's not a practice that is restricted to organizations alone. This is the perfect time for you to pause, reflect on your progress so far for the year, and re-strategize where you need to, go over your plans, and figure out how to get the best out of the rest of the year. And that is what we're looking at today. 7 things that could be stopping or slowing down your personal growth. When we talk about personal growth, it's very easy to focus on the plans and strategies to get the best results. Beyond all of that, there's an important aspect that helps you determine whether you're truly making progress in the way that you desire. Today, we'll be diving into 7 things that might be stopping or slowing down your personal growth. These things could be habits, perspectives, beliefs, or traits that you're not just aware of, or maybe you're aware of, but you've not been paying attention to them. But these 7 things are possible reasons why you're not experiencing the level of growth you need in different areas of your life. Let's go right in. Number 1, you're not aware of your patterns. Everyone has life patterns, but it takes a certain level of intentional reflection to be able to recognize them. Let's face the truth, you may not want to hear this, but repeating the same kind of mistakes, falling into the same kind of unfavorable situations time after time is not a coincidence, is not an accident. That's a pattern. Yes, everyone makes mistakes. It's okay for it to happen the first time and probably the second time. But if you find out that you're making the same type of mistake over and over again, or ending up in the same unfavorable circumstances over and over again, then that is something you should pay attention to. For every repetitive cycle of mistakes or unfavorable situations, there's always a cause or trigger behind it. So this is what you want to find out. What is the cause of this? What triggers this? It's going to take you some time to reflect and actually be honest with yourself for you to be able to recognize this. For example, if you're always making the same money mistakes, spending money on things that you later regret, then you need to ask yourself, what were the facts, the thoughts, or things that influenced you to take that decision? You need to take time to understand those things because they are the things that end up leading you to making such decisions or making such money mistakes again. If it's a case of emotional spending, you need to ask yourself, what always triggers me to go into that mode of spending and shopping unnecessarily and end up regretting it later when you're no longer bored or feeling depressed? So you need to find out, does this happen when I'm feeling depressed, or when I'm feeling lonely, or when I'm feeling bored, or I'm facing a difficult situation that feels like there's no way out? And the easiest way to distract yourself at that point is to go shopping for things that you don't actually need. So you need to find out what triggers it or what is the cause behind it. I once read the story of a young lady who discovered that she was always leaving her jobs on a bad note, unintentionally. At some point, she asked her friend, is there something I'm doing wrong? Am I picking the wrong jobs? Because at that point, it was happening again. With proper reflection, she was able to discover that there was something else that was playing out in every of those jobs. She was unknowingly a people pleaser. In every of those jobs, she was overworked, underpaid, and there were so many other things that didn't sit well with her on those jobs. But what did she do? She kept quiet, she was afraid to speak up, she became resentful, and was just hoping that one day they would notice and do something about it. But well, that never happened, and eventually, at some point, she would not be able to take it anymore, and there would be an outburst or a misunderstanding and series of events that lead her to express all the pent-up resentment. So when she was able to figure this out, she found out that the cause of that repetitive pattern was actually people pleasing, that trait of trying to please other people at the detriment of your well-being. So she started working on that, and she was better prepared to change the narrative in her future jobs. So here's what you need to do about finding out the cause or the emotional triggers behind your repetitive patterns. Maybe in your case, it might be in a different area like relationships. You might find out that you're always falling for the same kind of men that end up hurting you and leaving you broken. You need to ask yourself, what exactly am I missing, or do I need to change in the way that I select the men that I date? So it could be possible that there are red flags that you've been overlooking. You end up in the same outcome that is the opposite of what you want. You need to take your time to find out and be honest with yourself and discover what exactly is leading you back to those kind of situations. Figuring out the cause or the emotional trigger behind repetitive mistakes and patterns like this is just the first point. The next thing you need to do is to create a backup plan or have an alternative form of reaction or action when you find yourself in those circumstances again. For example, the lady that discovered that people pleasing was the actual problem behind the repetitive patterns she was seeing, her backup plan in that case would be to work on how to stop being a people pleaser, learning how to speak up for herself, to advocate for herself, and address issues as they come instead of letting them pile up. Next time she catches herself trying to do something in an attempt to please others at her own detriment, she can take a step back and decide to speak up and avoid that situation from happening again. If it's a case of bad relationship patterns, when you find out that there are certain red flags that you've been ignoring, or there are certain traits that you do not consider first before choosing to date someone, you can make a list of those traits, you can make a list of the red flags and arm yourself beforehand. So when you find yourself about to make such decisions again, you remind yourself, this is what I'm now looking out for, this is what I want to avoid, because I don't want to end up in the same place that keeps breaking me. It's important to note at this point, if you start taking steps to avoid these repetitive patterns and the first time you try it, you do not succeed 100%, don't beat yourself up. Remember, it's your first time attempting to stop this pattern. It's okay for you to not get everything right the first time, but trust me, as you do it the second time, as you continue having that consciousness that you're making better decisions that will give you better outcomes, trust me, you will get better with time and you will begin to see the good results that you actually desire. Number 2, you are not learning from your mistakes. I know nobody wants to make mistakes, because somehow we've been taught to believe that mistakes are a sign of failure. But making a mistake doesn't mean you failed at something. Mistakes are part of life. Actually, there's a lesson life is trying to teach you in every mistake you make. Yes, there's something to learn from every mistake you make. But if you refuse to take a close look at the mistakes you've made previously, there's a great chance that you're going to repeat those mistakes again. I know it might be painful, you may not want to think about it. It's okay for you to let it go at that moment so that you can recover and feel better. But when you do, please go back to them. Take a look at what exactly happened and ask yourself, was there a role I played in this? Is there something I could have avoided? If this thing is about to happen again, what can I do to prevent it? And you will see, when you do that, you will find out that you will learn some things from it. Mistakes are a good opportunity for you to learn. It makes you wiser. Sweeping your previous mistakes under the carpet is not going to help you at all. If you really want to experience true personal growth, if you really want to get to your desired destination, then you have to be objective with yourself and truthfully analyze your mistakes. It might be a painful process at first, but you're going to learn valuable lessons from it. Lessons that will make you better, that will improve your decision making, help you to set your priorities right, and you'll find out you begin to get better results. Reflecting and learning from your mistakes doesn't mean that you dwell on them. It only means that you take an objective look at it, pick the lessons, and you move on. So that you're learning from your mistakes doesn't mean you keep playing them over and over again and let them stop you from taking steps forward towards your goal. Number 3, you are still blaming other people and external circumstances for the problems or things that you don't like about your current state. I know it's very easy for you to blame maybe your parents, the way you were raised, your background, where you are living, or even the economy for the problems you have right now or for the things that it's very easy to put the blame on others. But what you're doing is you're taking away your power and you're putting it in external circumstances and in the hands of other people. The truth is, no matter your circumstances, no matter the external circumstances that are surrounding you, you have the inner ability, you have the power to transform your life. You have the power to take yourself from where you are right now to the next place that you truly desire. It doesn't matter where you were born, it doesn't matter your background, it doesn't matter what has happened. The day you decide to take responsibility for what happens from this moment onwards, that is the day you take back your power. And I know this might be sensitive for you if you came from a background of abuse or you've suffered some things that are not just fair. I understand, it's painful, but you have to heal. And part of that healing is taking responsibility for what happens next. What has happened. It's in the past. Let go of it. But from now on, tell yourself, I have the power to change my narrative. I have the power to create the kind of life that I want. And when you do this, something happens inside of you. You will get a fresh wave of energy and hope that propels you forward, and you begin to take steps to actually better your life. Blaming other people is a weight that will slow down your personal growth. This might sound unbelievable. No external force can stop you if your internal force is intact. And that internal force is the hope, is the realization, and the belief in your capacity to create the kind of life you desire. When you have this, no matter the challenges around you, you'll be able to get the results that you want. If you want to start a business, you will stop blaming the economy. That is the beautiful thing about taking responsibility and stopping the blame game. It puts you in the driver's seat and in charge of your life. And when you know you're in charge of your life, there's this confidence it gives you to take bold action. Once you take responsibility for the outcome of your life, you begin to have new ideas, new perspective. Hope begins to spring up in you. Instead of saying things like, if only I had a sponsor, if only I went to a better school, you'll find yourself thinking in a different way, asking, how else can I do this? Is there another way to get this done? Okay, I don't have this, but there's something else I can do, right? You see yourself moving on with positive energy. You need to take responsibility for what happens in your life from this moment onward. That is where personal growth begins. So if there's an area of your life where you're not experiencing the kind of growth that you desire, you need to take some time and reflect. Find out if you're blaming external circumstances in any kind of way. That could just be the reason why you're not seeing growth in that area yet. Number 4, you do not have a clear picture of the kind of woman you are becoming. Growth needs vision. Growth cannot happen when there's a lack of vision. Imagine going to a new place you've never been to before and you do not have a picture of it, no landmark, nothing that will help you to recognize that destination when you get to it. Imagine how difficult it's going to be for you to locate that place. That is exactly what happens when you're pursuing personal growth and transformation without having a clear picture of who you are actually becoming. It's not enough to say, I want to be a better person, I want to be a better woman. You can't grow into what you don't know. You need to have a good understanding of the kind of woman you are becoming. What are her values? What does she stand for? What is she known for? What impact does she have on the society, her family, and everyone around her? How does she talk? How does she dress? How does she show up in every room she walks into? The amazing thing that happens when you have this clear picture is that that version of you you're trying to become becomes real to you. It's no longer something that is written down in your journal. It's no longer abstract. It gradually becomes your reality even before you get to that level. That's why I always say the most amazing, confident, and powerful version of you does not exist in the future. She lives right here and right now. She lives inside of you, and you have the power to flip the switch and unveil her. And that process of unveiling her involves getting to know her, understanding who she really is, and that will make the picture come alive to you. It's easier to walk towards what you know and what you understand. And that is one of the things I love most about the Switched Up workbook. It's a personal development workbook designed to help you work on different areas of your life and get the results that you truly desire. One of the segments allows you to create a detailed vision of who you want to be and the kind of life you want to create for yourself. It also gives you tools and prompts to create a strategic and clear plan on how to get started on that journey. The goal setting template makes it easy for you to set small steps you can start taking immediately and every day, every week for you to get closer to the goals you want to achieve. It also comes with an easy template to track your progress at every step of the way. It has helped over 50 young, amazing ladies begin their personal development journey or improve on what they're already working on. You can get it with the link in the description below. And also, you get access to an exclusive, supportive community of vibrant, amazing young ladies who are working towards bettering their lives in different ways. Get it in the link in the description and also share with your friends. Another thing you may not realize is stopping or slowing down your personal growth is not accepting feedback. You need more than affirmation to grow. If you want to experience real growth, if you want to have the kind of results you desire, then you need to be open to feedback. Not every feedback is meant to put you down or destroy you. Yes, it might not come the way you want, but there's something to pick out from every feedback that you get. As someone who used to struggle with accepting feedback when I first started my personal development journey, I can understand how difficult that feels, especially if you've been at the receiving end of destructive criticism masked as feedback. It can be difficult to open up to feedback as you go on your journey, but that is something that is very essential for you to get the kind of results that you need, whether it's at work or your business, your brand, some areas of your personal life. It could be in any area. Feedback is one of the things you need to improve, grow, and get better in whatever you're working on. If you struggle with accepting feedback, here's what you need to do. First, accept that feedback is one of the tools you need to achieve the results that you desire. You truly want to get those results right? Then you need to accept that feedback is one of the things that will help you get there. The next thing is to detach your value, your worth from the feedback that you get. And this means you need to get grounded in your identity and stop relying on other people for approvals to feel good or confident about yourself and your skills. It's difficult to accept feedback, to analyze it and learn from it when you attach your value and you constantly seek approval and validation from other people. So when you get negative feedback from someone you put on a pedestal and you depend on for constant approval, it's going to feel like a blow. But when you're grounded in your sense of value and your worth, you can objectively receive feedback, sieve it, take what you need, and move on with the lessons. That is better than rejecting or blocking feedback. Doing that is going to stunt your growth. So in that area you're working on right now, find a trusted person. It could be an expert in the field you're working on, a mentor, a trusted friend, or a neutral figure. Ask for feedback. Find out, what do you think about this? Is there something I can do better to improve my results? Trust me, this is going to make your journey easier because it allows you to learn from those who are ahead of you, who have better experience and knowledge about what you're trying to improve in your life right now. So if this is a challenge for you, I need you to make a decision to be open to feedback from now. I know it's not as easy as it sounds. Everybody wants to hear what they are good at, where they are doing well, and we are quite hesitant when it comes to objective feedback. Remember, feedback is not meant to destroy you or deter you. Feedback is a tool that can help you build better and get to where you're going faster. Another thing that can be preventing you from experiencing the level of personal growth that you desire is the lack of an enabling environment for growth. And when I say this, I'm not just talking about the external environment. It starts from the mind, your mindset, your beliefs, your thoughts, your perspectives, the way you see yourself. All of these come together to create an environment that will either enable your growth or stunt it. I talked about this extensively in one of the previous episodes of this podcast. You can go back to listen to it afterwards on Spotify with the link in the description box. The greatness that you have inside of you is a seed. Let me take you back to your primary school days when you were taught about germination, seed germination. We were taught that there are requirements that must be there for germination to occur. First of all, the seed has to be viable. Then it has to be planted in a good soil. It has to be watered. There has to be sunlight. All these things must be present for that seed to sprout, grow, and give you the results, which are the fruits for which you planted it. The same thing applies to the greatness that is inside of you. The greatness that is inside of you is a seed, and the soil in which it's planted is your mind. So your mind, first of all, has to be fertile. It has to be okay for that seed of greatness inside of you to grow. So negative thoughts, negative self-beliefs, self-limiting beliefs, all these things are unfavorable conditions for the seed inside of you to grow. So for you to create an enabling environment for personal growth, the first thing you need to do is to work on your mind. You need to find out, are there beliefs that have been holding you back? Sometimes what is stopping you from growing are self-limiting beliefs. These things can go unnoticed, but when you take time at the time of the year like this to actually reflect on your journey so far, you will be able to find out if there are self-limiting beliefs that are stopping you from taking opportunities, showing up the way you should, putting your work out there, and just doing things that will help you get to where you actually want to be. If a seed is already in a good soil, the next thing is to water it. You need to water it daily. What do you feed your mind with? What are the kind of books you read? What are the kind of movies you watch? What are the kind of things you listen to? Your social media, what is it filled with? You can't keep complaining that you're not seeing progress in a particular area and you're not surrounding yourself with things that will actually help you to see better results. You need to surround yourself with an atmosphere that supports your growth. And this also applies to your friendship circles. What kind of friends do you keep? Are there friends who are also working towards bettering their lives? You can't be the only one in the midst of your friends trying to get better. I understand you might be attached to them, you started together, but if you're in the process of transformation and they are not, no matter how strong that bond is, if they are not on the same journey with you, on a similar journey of transformation, their energy is going to rub off on you. There will be a striking contrast in your priorities, in your conversations. You can be talking about how to invest in your business, how to save up to go back to school, how to take a course that will improve your skills, and they feel like it's a waste of time. They discourage you, they push it aside and keep talking about irrelevant things that are not going to help you to get better. If you keep yourself in that environment for a long time, you are not going to see the results that you truly desire. It is possible for you to outgrow your circle. Yes, you might be emotionally attached to them. That is understandable. What you can do is to prioritize friendships that elevate your growth and support your transformation journey. You can still keep in contact with your old circle of friends, but now there's a shift in what you share with them. You have another circle where your growth is not a topic to be ridiculed or pushed aside. Create an environment that will help you build the kind of life that you desire, no matter where you are, no matter where you live. Thanks to social media, you can expose yourself to people who have achieved the kind of results that you desire. Your big dreams might feel impossible to achieve until you see someone who has done it. You need to read about them, you need to follow them, you need to see that it is possible. You need to have that picture in front of you that this is possible, it can be achieved. If she can do it, then I can do it. You need to give yourself that exposure. And if you live in a place that it's possible for you to get into rooms where possibilities are discussed, where your big dreams even feel like small ones compared to what those kind of women have achieved. You can find this in conferences, in meetings, in workshops, seminars. Please do not deny yourself the opportunity to be in those rooms. If you have to pay for access, pay for it. If you have to volunteer or serve, please do it. This will strengthen your determination to keep working towards your goal and get the results that you desire. Because I understand this journey is not easy. You might be in a place where people do not understand what you're working towards. They're asking you, why are you stressing so much? Can't you just relax? You're still young. You're still a young lady. You're doing too much. All of that. It can be quite discouraging to be in that kind of environment. But you have the ability to create a different ecosystem for yourself, an environment that will be able to fuel your determination. You can do this through books, you can do this through podcasts like this. And it's actually amazing that you're watching this right now. It means that you're on the right path to creating an environment that will fuel your growth. So at every point in time, no matter the physical circumstances around you, create an environment that will support your growth. Even if you're surrounded with negativity, do not let it seep into your mind. Protect your mind from everything that is not in line with what you're working towards. Do not let the negative opinion of others to stop you. Whether it's ridicule, whether it's misunderstanding, it's okay to be misunderstood on the journey of personal growth. Growth is a personal journey. It's personal to you. You know where you're coming from and you know where you're going. You know what it takes to get there. So do not let external opinions to deter you from doing what you know you have to do. to get to your destination. This is very important. Your internal environment is more important than your external environment. And for some people, what you might need might be an actual change of environment. Yes, sometimes your location might not give you exactly what you need. It could be in your career. There might be opportunities that are easier to get in a different physical environment. If you find out that that's what you need, don't be scared to take that leap. Do your research, plan, and take that step. Your future self will thank you for doing that. You need to guard your internal environment with jealousy. Don't let people come in and plant negative things that will stunt your growth. This last point is very common. You might not be surprised to hear it. One of the biggest things that can stop or slow down your personal growth in any area of your life is not asking for help. A lot of us struggle with that. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness. You're not an island. Nobody, even the best expert, can do life alone. You need the help of others. It is okay to ask for help. If you feel stuck, if you've done everything you can to get better, to get the results that you desire, it's okay to ask for help. If you don't speak up, you're not going to get the help that you need. And one thing that will surprise you when you finally start asking for help is that a lot of people are actually willing to help you. But they won't know, they can't read your mind if you don't speak out. It takes a strong sense of self, humility, and a growth mindset for you to ask for help. Asking for help is not weakness. Asking for help means that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to where you want to be. If it takes asking for support, if it takes finding out what other people have done to help them, if it's admitting that you need encouragement, you're ready to do it so that you can grow. It means that you are truly invested in growing and getting better. One of the easiest ways to get the support and help that you need is to join a community of other women who are working towards getting better in different areas of their lives, who understand what it means to be on a journey of transformation. When you're in that kind of community, it's far much easier for you to ask for help. And that is what we are building at the Switched Up Lady. We are building a community of young ladies who are dedicated to not just pursuing their personal growth, but lending a hand of support to others in the community. You can join the community by getting a copy of the Switched Up workbook, which grants you access to the Switched Up Ladies tribe. Get it now at theswitcheduplady.org.ng and tell your best girl to. What you might just need at this time of the year, how much you've been trying to do everything on your own, and sincerely tell yourself, I need help, and go to the right place and find it. I know one of the things that makes it difficult for you to ask for help, it could be a bad experience. Maybe you asked for help from the wrong source and the person used it against you. The person probably mocked you, shared it with someone else, something you told them with confidence. That is so difficult to deal with, and it can give you trust issues and make you decide, I'm never going to ask for help again. Or it could be that you're the first daughter in your family and you had everyone coming to you from your siblings and your parents expecting you to be a parent to your other siblings. Maybe because of that, you've gotten used to doing everything on your own. It's okay for you to breathe. It's okay for you to unlearn that and realize that you also need help. Maybe you're used to being the strong one among your circle of friends. You're the one that everybody runs to for motivation, for encouragement. But what happens when you actually need to be encouraged to? You need to accept the fact that even you need help. It's okay to also receive the kind of help, support, and encouragement you've been given to other people. Going forward, what you can do better is to find someone who is trustworthy and has a track record of being kind and truly supportive without any ulterior motive. Find someone you can trust and ask for help. If you're running a business or leading an organization and you've been trying to be in control of everything by yourself, this is the best time to take a step back and find out ways that you can delegate and trust others with the responsibility of taking leadership. That might just be the turning point in your business or your career. Currently, burnout is on the rise among young ladies, especially professionals. It's already a lot to be a young woman in Africa today. Do not add the burden of doing and carrying everything alone to that. Allow yourself to receive the help and support you need to make your journey easier. Remember, you can send in your questions with the anonymous message link in the description box and have it answered in any of our episodes. Don't forget to like this video, comment, share your opinion, or you have other helpful tips that might help other young ladies out there. Please share them in the comment section. Subscribe to this channel and also share with your friends. Don't forget to check out our website at theswitcheduplady.org.ng for an amazing gift that will help you to start taking the first steps to unveiling who you truly are and becoming the kind of woman you were made to be. Have an amazing week ahead. Cheers to your grand rising.